Good evening, Brian.
Good evening, Lashana. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, sir. Have you heard from Mr. McKeithen?
I have not.
Okay. I'm going to text him real quick. Good evening, everyone. We are going to get started momentarily. We are waiting for our fellow board member to join. As a reminder, please mute your lines so that we can hear when other people are speaking. Please wait until the community engagement part of the agenda before you will be called on. You can raise your electronic hand if you would like to ask the board a question. You can raise your electronic hand at any time during the meeting, but there is a section towards the end of the agenda in which we will call on people with their hands raised. Please keep your line muted until you are recognized to speak so that everyone can hear your question and also hear the response. Again, we will get started here momentarily. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. The time now is 7:05 p.m. We're going to go ahead and get started. Thomas should be joining us momentarily. I called this meeting to order at 7:05 p.m. As a reminder to the homeowners, there is a portion towards the end of the agenda that is designated for community questions. We ask that you would leave your line muted until we get to that portion. We will call on you if you have your electronic hand raised. And we ask that you speak one at a time, mute your line if you're not speaking so everyone can hear the question and the answer that is provided. Brian, can you do the roll call? I think Thomas he's not on right now, but he should be joining in a minute.
Sure. LaShawna Spencer, President.
Present.
Brian Creighton, Senior Secretary, Present. And Thomas McKeithen II. He is joining now, so he's present.
Okay, thank you. So the minutes from our board meeting minutes from last year that we have not gotten through. I wanted to make a motion that until the written minutes are completed and reviewed, that all of the recordings be posted to our YouTube channel. And if we could have those posted to the YouTube channel by the 16th, Monday, the 16th of January, because we've been telling the homeowners to go view the meeting minutes when they have questions about things. So in the interim, until we can get the minutes completed and reviewed and posted, my motion is that we post all the recordings to the board's YouTube channel by Monday, the 16th.
I second that motion.
Okay, opening it up for discussion.
No discussion here.
Thomas,
I think Thomas is muted.
If there's capacity to do it, I'm on board.
Okay.
okay, so we're ready to vote. The motion on the floor is until the meeting minutes, the written meeting minutes can be completed and submitted. Yes, we have a YouTube channel. Till the written minutes can be completed and posted and reviewed, that all of the recordings be posted to the YouTube channel by Monday, the 16th.
For
All
what
in
period of
favor?
time? What period? Wait. I think we need to codify what period of time we're talking about.
What period of time for what?
It's last year's meeting minutes.
So what?
2020.
So we started record. So it's clear. I think we're talking about the meeting minutes from like June. Is it June?
Yes.
June through December. That's what I
well,
want.
actually,
Which one is it?
Actually, the meeting minutes up until August the 17th are posted. So anything after August the 17th will be posted by January the 16th.
So from 17 August to 30 November, that's the period of time we're talking about.
Correct.
Okay, that's what I want to make sure that's all. That's the one to make sure the dates were clear. It's a part of the motion. LaShawna, that's it.
So those are the meeting minutes that are outstanding as far as written meeting minutes. But what the motion is until those are completed, that the recordings be posted to the YouTube channel.
Correct.
Agreed. Yeah. Agreed.
By Monday, the 16th. So that is the date we're working with posting the recordings.
Yep.
Correct.
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Yep.
Aye.
Aye.
None opposed. The motion passes. Brian, I wanted to ask you to make a recommendation on as far as the written meeting minutes. Realistically, when is a good deadline? Because we need to table the minutes, but I want to make sure we table the written minutes to a date certain. So if you could recommend a date.
Yeah, let me look at my calendar. I have a couple of trips. I'll be out of the state. So I will send an email. I'll send an email probably in the next few days just to give you guys a date. Does that work?
Okay. Yeah, that works. Thomas.
Yeah, that works. I don't care. Yeah. That works.
Okay. All right, moving on from the meeting minutes. Next on the agenda was the ARC policy update. So basically what I did was I went to the inbox and all of the pending items, the starred items in the inbox that we still had pending from last year. I put those on the agenda so that we can discuss what the status is and figure out a path forward. Just trying to tie up loose ends from last year.
I think we approved that. We just need to sign it.
Yes, that has been approved. We just need we need to sign the ARC, the electronic communication resolution, and also
And the residential lease policy.
the residential lease policy. So we should
Yep.
just have a signing day. Or just
Yep, we have signing day.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm just looking. Yeah, the ARC came back from the attorney. What other one did you say?
it's the ARC, the electronic communication resolution, and the residential lease policy.
Yeah, and in short, around the election, just so the homeowners are clear, the homeowners have to, it's you have to opt out or opt in. Sorry, wait a minute. It's either one or the other. I can't remember what it is, but you have to take an action to opt into the electronic communications. That's the essence of it.
Okay. Yep. So those three, yeah, were received back from the attorney, so they're in their finalized form. So yeah, we just need to get together to sign. Any suggestions on dates?
The sooner the better for me. Looking at my calendar now.
You want to try to do it tomorrow?
Get that coat.
Let me mute these.
Please mute your lines.
Thank you.
You want to try to meet tomorrow?
My calendar real quick.
Okay.
Possibly tomorrow evening, around 7. I'm good.
I think there's a comms meeting tomorrow that I may be attending. I have to confirm if I'm attending or not. So that oh, that's at 7:30. Okay, I can
Thomas,
do
what's your
7.
schedule like, Thomas?
I can do
Tomorrow,
7 tomorrow.
you can do 7.
Yeah.
Tomorrow and tomorrow and Friday are bad for me. The rest of this week is just ridiculous for me. Just text me. If I can do it, I'll do it. But it just looks ridiculous right now.
Okay, so Charlotte, let's you and I get together. Let's go ahead and sign our portion, and then
And they just bring me the
circle
documents.
back, we'll circle back
Yeah.
with Thomas and get Thomas to sign.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So that takes care of those. So that's ARC. We skip down to electronic communication. The conflict of interest policy, the attorney had came back and said that that was not necessary. So I wanted to go ahead and officially close that out. So it's not on our task to do anymore.
Well, I think it's important, even though it's not necessary, I think we do need to have something.
But there's a law, there's a law.
State
in
law.
place.
Yeah, that's that what she was, is that what she was, it's been so long.
So
since I looked
basically,
at it.
It's
yeah, so basically we're covered by the law already. So there's no additional documentation
Required.
or, yeah, there's no, there's
right.
already.
Maryland law actually addresses interested director transactions.
Okay,
um, So it would really just be a redundancy, which is why she was saying,
don't really have to do it. You can do it, but you don't really have to. Is that that's the essence
well,
of it, right?
she recommended not doing it. I mean, we're covered to the
Okay.
extent that we need to be covered by Maryland law.
Okay, yeah, recollected now.
Okay, so we did art policy, electronic communication, conflict of interest. We're going out of order, so I'm trying to make sure I don't skip anything. And residential lease policy. Okay, so I'm going back up to item B. Fence proposals, pond and common areas. Brian, can you give us an update on where we are with those? I know between switching with management companies, we're kind of stalled in the middle of the creek, but if you can give us where we are now and what the next step should be.
As far as I know from the communication from Brenda late last year, we were still waiting on one particular company to come back with a proposal. I'm not sure the company's name right offhand. I have to do some research to get this person in. I believe what needs to happen is, since we have switched management companies, I really don't want to, we shouldn't prolong this because we need to get these fences repaired. I like to be able to have the new management company reach out to the latest or to the company that we're looking for a proposal from and get them to provide us one as soon as possible.
Wasn't it RMS or something like that, Brian? Is that
Well, the first company was RMS.
but there was somebody else.
There was somebody else that came out and provided a proposal. I believe this was maybe sometime in October or prior to October.
Yeah, I remember. Brian, would it be cleaner? I'm with you, but wouldn't it be cleaner to just have Barkin? Let's look at the document, update the date, have Barkin re-put it out for bid, and that way we come in with a fresh look, and then just give it a 30-day win. What's today?
Let's actually give it like a 45-day window.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? You with me, right? So if we have Barkin put it out, tell them to put it out, end of next week, and then have proposals due. My recommendations, have proposals due mid-March, like around the 15th, 17th. It's due around the 17th, which is a Friday. And then that way, by the time we meet in March, we should have some bids back. That would be my recommendation. Let's put it back out, ask bids to be due within 45 days, which will be, late February. And then we will review and award in March. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
I think it's just cleaner.
I don't know if this other company fell by the wayside, or Century just wasn't engaging this particular company. So I'm not sure.
So I'll take an action. I'll find the file. I think I have it. I'll update it. Send it.
I actually have it.
You got it.
I have the latest bid.
You got the latest one, and then
Mhm.
and then we just change the date on there and let proposals to be due, 45 days from next Friday, whatever that is, and then which should be around the 10th or so, something like that of March, and then we can review and strive to award by the end of March.
Yeah, okay, so this doesn't really need a vote.
No,
This is just action item.
just an
Right,
action.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I will get that to LaShawna within the next day or so.
okay. Okay, so we did A, B, C, D, E, pet waste basket stations. Brian, are we still having a problem with those, or can we take this off the list? There was a
Yeah,
complaint.
Go ahead and finish.
Oh, no, I was saying we have received a complaint about a certain area. I can't remember which street it was on. I don't have the email in front of me. But there was a complaint that had came into the box about the pet waste stations and not having bags to fill them. So is that still an issue, or can we take this off?
So not having bags or not having baskets? Because you have baskets here, but you're referring to bags. Outdoor creation is the one, outdoor creation replenishes the bags at the pet waste station.
Okay,
Waste stations.
okay.
So
So-
what was a complaint?
I didn't, let's see, trying to bring up the email, pet waste basket on Winding Court, close to walking trail. Oh, this was actually from Amber's Disposal asking for bags to replace the bags when the box was empty. But you're saying that
Outdoor
creations is
outdoor
doing it.
creations replenishes the pet waste station bags. Amber was going to pick up the tot lot trash receptacles. That's according to a agreement, a newly agreed upon term and condition that happened last year. I'm not sure if they're even picking up the tot lot trash because I have a tot lot in the back of the house, in the back of my property, and I haven't seen them go there once.
Issue of the bags and providing the provision of the bags. So I just think we need to have a conversation with the parties.
So do we have to provide the bags to them?
Or make them somehow or another, make them available where they know where to get them from. So if we had them, I don't know, I'm just gonna throw this out, say we had a lockbox or something, you know, out there, they know where the bags are here, or we gave them the bags or something. So I just think it's a conversation between us, Amber's, and well, it's Amber's in this case, and figure out
No,
how
but
they want
outdoor creations actually picks up the tot
special
lot trash
our trash.
year round.
Yeah, so I just think we need to have a conversation with all three, with us, and both vendors, and figure out, make sure we've got it coordinated, so we don't have duplication of effort. I think that's what this basically boils down to.
Okay, so
It
I'm
can be a
confused.
no.
I'm confused now. So you're saying that Outdoor Creations provide the bags for the pet waste stations, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and then is Amber supposed to empty the pet waste baskets?
We don't
Or
have
has
any
that been
baskets.
established?
We don't have any pet waste baskets in the community.
There aren't any. Okay,
There are 0 pet waste baskets. There are trash receptacles at the tot lots and at the main pavilion.
okay. So Outdoor Creations provides the pet waste station bags. They fill that up, and then Amber's is responsible for the trash cans at the pavilion.
Well, okay, first let's back up. So Outdoor Creations provides the waste bags for the pets waste stations. They also pick up the trash from the tot lots including the pavilion area. And they pick up all of the trash from these remote receptacles that we have around the community. So that's what Outdoor Creation does throughout the year, 12 months.
Okay,
There was a provision that was written into the Amber contract to kind of, and I believe, keep me honest, Thomas, I believe the intent was to supplement what Outdoor Creation
That is correct.
or is doing.
That is correct.
Okay.
okay.
I hope I laid it flat for you guys.
No, you got it. You got it.
So it's a
Yeah,
little confusing.
yeah, okay,
And that's why I said what I said. I just think it's a conversation with all the parties to make sure how we're going to coordinate, how we're going to execute around this, particularly as we're about to hit, spring, summer season again. So I think the action is set up a call with OC and Amber's and just in the management code and just align on how we're going to execute around this.
okay.
That's
So
that's simple fix.
that'll be an action item
Correct.
that we'll have to take on. If you can annotate that, please, Brian. We'll have to come back to that. Okay. The 20, do you guys want to do the meeting schedule or the snow contract first?
No contract.
Okay. Skipping ahead one to the snow contract. I saw something come in. I think you were working with landscaping and asked them to provide something. If you can kind of tell us where we are with that and what needs to be done.
This is for the snow contract.
Yes.
Question is it going to snow in 2023?
Yeah, right. Right, Brian. There you go.
Are we?
I don't know.
We getting any
Um,
snow this year?
But if it does, we're responsible for the common area sidewalks.
So are we doing all common area sidewalks, or are we doing common area sidewalks that are adjacent to certain areas?
That's all of them. Anything
It's
that
all of them.
it's all of so
Yeah. Okay,
Brian-
I had a conversation with the community, with a fellow community that's in Charles County here, and they advised that they did all their common sidewalks, and the bill came out to $29,000 for one season, and it was a total disaster.
no, our bill, no. We don't have that many. We don't have that many.
Well, no, you said common sidewalk. So common sidewalk would be the sidewalk that's in front of I'm just giving you an example of the main pavilion. So that long sidewalk from the entrance going what is that? North towards what is that street? I can't think of the name of the street. That's a common sidewalk. So that's what I'm asking you. Are we doing all the common sidewalks, or are we doing what we did in the previous years, which is making sure that the pavilion parking lot is shoveled or is clear of snow, and we are augmenting the county's efforts when they come in here and do a one pass?
So it's two things. It's making sure that pavilion area is cleaned off, that those areas and the tot lots are cleaned off, those areas around the tot lots. Those are the main common areas. And if we desire to supplement the county for plowing services. So what my recommendation would be given where we are, Brian and Lashana, is we had a we have that's expired. We have a basically it's a SOW with Hyper. And given where we are in the time of the year, my recommendation would be to reach out to Hyper and extend that SOW through um through the 2023, excuse me, through the 2023 season. So ask them for 90-day extension or 90 or 120-day extension,
Mhm.
and just leave it the way it is. And then what we do is in May, we put the scope of work that we kind of identified, Brian, that we kind of drafted back of the envelope. We put that out for bid, and that way we do what we really need to have in place, and that is a longer term snow contract for 2024 for the 2023 through 2026 seasons. That
Right,
will be my recommendation.
right. So landscaping did provide bid requirements. Again, it's to clear snow from the main pavilion parking lot. Estimate to remove snow from common areas, an estimate to remove snow from the common area sidewalks. And then, of course, to augment the county's efforts of snow from all the roads. And then also to treat all the roads prior to a snow or ice event, which is fine. But I want to make sure that we're clear on when we say common area sidewalks. So another example I want to use is going down Laverde when you turn off of Bancroft. You have common area sidewalks on both sides of the street. Are we
Correct.
talking about we want to clean those sidewalks off?
No, I'm thinking it's only the ones that lead to a common area, or that leads to
So you
like
want
the
to lead,
pavilion area.
so the ones that lead either to the pavilion or to the
Tot lot.
park lot.
To lot. And then what we can do is when we do this new bid, Brian, we can specify the remaining pieces as a part of the remaining common areas that you just referenced, or common sidewalk that you just referenced. See where the bids land for the 2023 season, and deal with it that way. But I think right now we just need to have something in place to deal with those sidewalks that
Okay. Yeah,
go the risk
I will send communication to
Do it to me.
Lashana to send over to Hyper to
Yep.
get this new bid.
Yep. And just do it for, from
We're gonna only do it. We're gonna only do it for this particular season.
yeah, from January 1, 2023 to cover from January 1, 2023
To May,
April.
to May of 2023.
You want to do May or April 30th? Does it snow in May?
It may snow in May. Who
It
knows?
has snowed in April.
It snowed in April.
I know it snowed in April and it may snow in May this year.
All right, well, let's do to May.
So,
That's fine.
I
We
also
got it.
want to suggest when we meet with Barkin next week that we get clarification on the term common areas. As I remember it being defined before, the common sidewalks was any area not in front of a homeowner's house. So I want to make sure that we understand what our responsibility is for the common area sidewalks, especially when we have sent out communications to the homeowners saying that it's their responsibility to clear off the sidewalk in front of their house within a certain period of time.
Yep.
I want to make sure that the HOA knows exactly what sidewalks, what areas we are responsible for clearing also.
Agreed.
So I think we need to, when we meet with Barkin next week, confirm what the definition of common area sidewalks or common areas that we would be responsible for removing snow.
That's fair. And then what we need to do is post that, just refresh the notification that we provided last year, and get that out to the homeowners and post it on social media that this is what the expectations are for the 2023 season.
Okay, anything on that before we move on? Hearing none. The 2023 board meeting schedule. Okay, so we're meeting tonight. We plan to eventually go to monthly meetings or quarterly meetings.
So I think when I sent the recommendation over, I I I recommended that through March we do bi-weekly, and then April forward, we would do um bi-monthly. But in hindsight, here's what I think I want to recommend. I want to recommend that we go to that we go to bi-monthly, starting in. So we would
Please mute your lines. Thank you.
that we go to bi-monthly, starting in February. So we will meet in February, April, June. We have a summer recess of July and August. Meet in September and November, and do not meet in December. And that would align with how we kind of ended the year last year. We did not meet in December. We did the budget. We finalized the budget in November, and then we did not meet in December. And my recommendation will be that we meet on the second or third Wednesday, whichever one you guys want. And that way, we would have a plan, the path forward.
So I'm trying to remember what the bargain contract said as far as meetings.
Bi-monthly.
So
Bi-monthly.
so the manager or the account executive, they call the CAM, the account executive, will attend 6 bi-monthly board meetings. So that's every other month. But of course we could choose to meet more than that. We can choose, so we can only meet when the account executive is going to be there, which would be every other month, or we could meet once a month, acknowledging that Barkin would not be there, every other month. I do, for this transition period, because everything is in flux, I do agree that we need to continue to meet bi-weekly until things calm down, but I am definitely a proponent of cutting back on this meeting schedule as soon as practical. Those are my thoughts, Brian.
Come back to me. I'm
You the last one.
oh, am I?
Do you want me to restate what I said to help you out there, sir? I think we need to go. Listen, I'm all for efficiency, right? I'm all for efficiency, and if we don't need to meet to deal with any issues where we've got to take an action, we don't that action that requires a public vote. We don't need to meet. Some of this administrative stuff we can just handle. We just handle it. So I think a bi-monthly cadence gets it. One is it prevents us from burning out, the three of us from burning out, and it just ensures that when we come public, we're coming public as a team. I would not have a problem, Lashana, to your point. I wouldn't have a problem meeting. If you want to meet, April, February, meet in February, March, and then start the bi-monthly cadence in Q2. I don't have a problem with that. But what I don't want, what gives me pause is, going through the whole year with, monthly meetings. I'll do what I need to do, but I think we all want to kind of dial it back.
Correct. Right now, the monthly cadence is a bit much.
Yeah.
With all
Well,
the,
now we're meeting bi-weekly,
Well,
so we're
I
meeting
think
twice a month.
what Brian is getting at is, Brian, would you be open to just starting bi-monthly next month and doing every other month?
I believe, listening to LaShawna's point,
It's hard, I know.
that's we need to make sure that we handle Barkin in a way that do. I'm trying to formulate this. This question or this statement. We're meeting with Barkin next week, correct?
Monday.
Correct.
Yep.
Board is. And then we also have a quarterly board meeting scheduled January the 19th, which is also.
Yes, that was the next agenda item we needed to discuss, because
I know.
that's been on the calendar. Yeah,
So just bear with me. I'm going somewhere with this.
okay.
So that takes us out of then of course another bi-weekly meeting would be on the 25th of January. But we're meeting with them on the 16th. However, we can communicate what we know or any new information to the homeowners on the 19th of January at the quarterly board meeting. So really, January the 25th meeting, do we really need the January 25th meeting?
Depending on what comes out of this meeting with Barkin on Monday, I don't know. Like, this is going to be Barkin's introductory meeting to the board, right? This is the first meeting we're having with them since the transition. And we're going to sit down with them and talk to them. I know that Nicole has been receiving some comments from homeowners. We received a couple from the board that need to be addressed. And we just need to figure out where we are, what still needs to be done. So I don't know, depending on what comes out of this meeting on Monday, we may feel it's necessary to follow back up with them on the 25th, or we could possibly say it could wait until the meeting in like February 8th.
So can I make a recommendation that we do? Let's do this.
Well,
Oh, go ahead, Brian.
so if we come up with something, if we come up with action items for Barkin to do, do we need to have a meeting on the 25th in order to do that? Or could we actually do that without having a meeting? Because they're just action items that we would find out between the 16th and say the 19th.
Again, it would just depend on what the subjects are, what the action items are. And I guess
because
and part of my
is Barkin going to be in the meeting on the 25th?
No.
So what action items? So here I see where Brian's going with this. Brian's getting at, and this is what I think I hear you saying, Brian, is what action items are we going to accomplish on the 25th? Because if we're meeting on the 19th and then again on the 25th, and they're just more in their informational sessions, and the board really doesn't have any quote unquote action items, there's any value of meeting on the 25th if we're meeting on the 19th. I think that's what I hear you saying. So what my let me finish my statement.
I just want to clarify, because you're mentioning the meeting on the 19th. That's the quarterly meeting. So that's something different.
Let me finish my statement. Shauna. Hold on for 1 sec. Let me finish my statement. So here's what I recommend we do. I think we got this meeting with Barkin on Monday. We've got this quarterly meeting on the 19th. What I recommend we do is meet with Barkin on the 19th. I mean, excuse me, the 16th. Let them come and brief the homeowners. But as a part of the quarterly meeting, we determine, we publicize when our 2023 board meetings will be. I think the three of us will know coming out of the meeting with Barkin, at least at a high level, what our path forward needs to be. And so I think we can come into the quarterly meeting and pass. I mean, it doesn't even require a vote. We just agree that this is how we're going to meet. I just think that would be much more efficient.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Barkin is going to attend our quarterly meeting on the 19th, correct?
That is what we were going to discuss in the next agenda
Oh,
item. That was my recommendation.
I'm
That was my
recommendation.
I'm with you. We with you. We all with you. We got it.
That was my recommendation. So Thomas, what you're saying is just wait to set the meeting cadence for the rest of the year until after the meeting on the
On Monday.
16th. with
On
Barkin.
Monday, yeah.
Correct.
And then here's the thing: if we go into this meeting, and I'm just being totally straight, if we're not ready to come public and have this quarterly meeting on the 19th, we don't need to do it. We need to make sure as a team, Barkin and the board needs to make sure we're ready to come public with and explain to homeowners, what the path forward is. But if we are not ready and we don't have solid answers, we don't need to have a meeting, because we need to make sure that the transition is solid and that it's locked, and that that the appropriate things are in place before we come public. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, so I'm in agreement with waiting to set the 2023 meeting schedule until after the meeting with Barkin on Monday. I just want to make sure that if we're not meeting and we're taking actions, that somehow those actions are being recorded, so that when we do have meetings, we can brief the homeowners on what we've been doing. So let's say we move to bi-monthly meetings. Of course, there's going to be business that happens in between those meetings every other month. So we would need to just make sure that those actions are recorded and recapped, like we recap the executive sessions, right, when we have our next meeting.
Agreed. That's what we do, and then we might need to huddle and have an executive session on one matter or another, or do it over email and just capture what we need to do. But a lot of the actions that we're going to take, or a lot of things we're going to need to do, are going to be administrative in nature. They're not going to be any, more than likely won't be any policy decisions. I only see one or two policy decisions, that's coming, but that's it.
Okay.
Question. The proposed bi-monthly meetings, are they in line with the quarters, Thomas? Oh, he's on the phone.
The bi-monthly meetings,
Are they more in line with our quarterly meetings?
so I don't know, I have to look at the calendar. The
Okay.
quarterly meetings were set up prior to this schedule. This was set up a long time ago.
Okay.
Communications put them on the calendar, just to make sure we didn't forget to have them. We wanted all of the committees and everyone to come together to brief the community at least once a quarter. So that's something that we can look at. If you think they should align, we can make that happen. But it was just based off the calendar year.
Okay.
And that's how we did it initially.
Okay.
So I'll take an action to update. I'll take an action to. I think there's the consensus to align around a bi-monthly cadence, and then to align the quarterly meeting schedule accordingly. So I'll take an action and I'll share it over email. Give me a day to look at what I originally wrote, and then align it, and then we have something to kind of react to between now and Tuesday or Wednesday next week. Does that work?
So you're talking about, you're just
I'm gonna take what I
doing a
originally,
draft schedule?
I'm gonna take the schedule that I originally drafted. You remember that, right? It's been a couple
Mhm.
of weeks ago.
Yeah,
Tweak it based on what we talked about. And then, you know, make sure we're ready to go when we meet at the quarterly meeting so we can say this is what we're gonna do. Or if we all agree, just give it to Nicole and say, okay, this is what it is.
okay, but we wouldn't be deciding on that until after we meet with
With
Barkin
Barkin,
Monday,
yes,
correct?
right, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay,
He's just doing some legwork now.
I'm just doing we're gonna do the heavy lifting now, so and then we have something to react to, and we can kind of tweak as we need to, and then we can just give it to Nicole. Once the three of us agree, we can give it to Nicole and say, okay, this is what it is.
okay. All right, anything else on that? Hearing none, last agenda item, quarterly meeting scheduled for January 19th. So I made a recommendation since this is already on the calendar, and we haven't had one in about 3 months. And because of the transition, I made a recommendation that we have Barkin attend this meeting. And this would be their introduction to the community, to where they can talk about the company, et cetera, and they can answer questions from the homeowners. Thoughts? I don't
I'm
think we
gonna,
need to vote.
I'm gonna say, I'll go ahead, Brian. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
I'm gonna say, I want to withhold judgment. I want to go into this meeting Monday, see where we are, and see what the comfort level is. And if they're not prepared one way or the other to give us, solid answers, I don't want to have this quarterly meeting. That's just my position on it. If the three of us feel comfortable that we're ready to come public and we've got a solid, path forward, then I'm prepared to have the meeting. But I'm, yeah. So
Brian,
so LaShawna, to be honest, happy Pat.
I'm a little, I'm not,
what did you say, Thomas? I didn't.
So happy path for me. If it was me, I would move this January 19th meeting and move it out a week and say we're gonna do it. If we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it on the 26th if we do it. But I want to have the conversation with the management team first before we come public.
So I have thoughts, but I want to let Brian.
Thomas, what hesitation do you have with Barkin so far?
I don't know it. Honestly, I don't know anything. To be honest, I saw the letters around the portal. I saw the things about the that I want to make sure that account balances have been moved over, that all the files have been, aligned administratively. Those sort of administrative tasks are in place, and that we are comfortable
Right.
before we.
According to the letter from Barkin to the board, isn't the portal going to be should be up and operational within 30 to 45 days?
What letter are you referencing?
Well,
I
I
saw
don't
something that said 2 weeks. I don't recall that either. That's what
Yeah,
it said.
I thought it was
read
2
something else?
weeks,
Did I
but
read something else? Okay.
I don't remember. I thought it was shorter than that, but don't
Okay.
quote me. I don't remember.
I'm trying to remember.
So my only concern, Thomas, with that is that we have entered the transition now, right? So Barkin has taken over. We are no longer with Century, and the homeowners have questions, concerns, etc. And instead of communications committee and the board email getting bombarded from the homeowners, I think that it would be more appropriate and more efficient to have Barkin come sooner than later to introduce themselves to the community so they can address all of their concerns, questions, etc. firsthand. I do understand your point with trying to make sure that they have everything updated. However, I think that the more urgent thing now is making sure that the homeowners are comfortable with this transition. And I think helping them be comfortable in this transition would be the opportunity to hear from and ask questions to Barkin officials. And I think
Correct.
having that done sooner than later would help ease some of the pain of this transition for the homeowners.
I don't disagree with you. I'm just concerned about the timing, but if again, if we're gonna do it, let's do it. But if we don't feel, here's what I'm saying. Let me try to restate this. If we don't, and I get the anxiety, I get all the other pieces, but if we are still not comfortable where we are on Monday when we leave this meeting, one way or the other, then we don't need to we need to push the quarterly meeting out. I'm all for communicating. I want folks to know what's going on, but I don't want us to have egg all over our face and not be prepared. That's all I'm saying to you.
Okay. So it sounds like we may need to take a vote then on whether or not we're going to keep the quarterly meeting on the 19th. Or I think the proposal out on the table was to push it back a week, Thomas, to the 26th.
I'm saying, what I am saying is, let me try this another way. I'm saying we need to meet with Barkin on Monday, but leave it. We're gonna leave the meeting where it is, Sean. I'm not saying move it. I'm saying move it only if we feel, if the three of us don't feel comfortable that we're ready for the conversation. I want to make sure we've got solid answers around issues that homeowners may have. I want to make sure that we are comfortable, the board is comfortable, we're at relative to the state of affairs before we go public. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm not saying don't do it on the 19th. I'm saying let's make sure that we are prepared. I don't think we need a vote.
So my concern with that is that the 19th is next Thursday. So we're meeting with Barkin on Monday, the 16th. And that's a very short time frame. We're talking, 3 days before the meeting. So, I mean,
So let's
I
put
kind of
together-
feel we're a week out now. So if there's a possibility that we won't be having a quarterly meeting, I think we kind of need to make a decision now. It's really late in the game. I don't want to.
I think
Are they
I think we should have Barkin come in and introduce themselves to the community on the 19th.
Well, just do it. Just do it one way or the other. Just do it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're going to, we've confirmed the quarterly meeting on the 19th. We're going to invite Barkin Management to do a community introduction and answer questions from homeowners. We also, if the chairs from the committees have any updates, announcements, or whatever, we will give them space to do that also during that time, as we normally do during the quarterly meetings. Okay, that was the last agenda item that I had. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I missed anything.
I have a no, you didn't miss anything, but I have a unscheduled agenda item,
Okay,
and it surrounds the tot lot at Rockland Circle.
okay.
I believe OC, correct me if I'm wrong, has Outdoor Creation gotten back to us with a proposal for cleaning up the glass that is on the sidewalk, on the common sidewalk.
Yeah, they responded. They just said they're gonna do it. She just said they're gonna take care of it. So there's no proposal or anything. She just said they were gonna clean it up. There is no cost.
There's
She
no
said
cost.
they're just gonna clean it up. She replied, she sent the email, I think the same day,
Okay.
saying, we'll just go out there and take care of it.
And do we know when that will take place?
Let me see. I don't have her email in front of me. I'll pull up her email
Okay.
and
And let us,
get back to you. Yeah,
great, great.
but she did say they were going to take care of it.
Okay, perfect, perfect. My other agenda item is going to be, I'd like to have a meeting with Outdoor Creation and the Board of Directors sometime sometime in February, prior to the spring, just to kind of look at 2022, and then also looking at a path forward in 2023 and where we're going.
You're on mute, Thomas.
Oh, I would agree with that.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. You're just talking about as far as what work they're going to be doing according
Correct.
to the contract.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
All
You
right.
can find time on the calendar. If I may, one unscheduled agenda item came in from comms. We were asked by a homeowner what can be done as far as, and this has come up before with the safety and security, and Ernie mentioned that there used to be a sign in front of the community saying that there's no soliciting in the neighborhood, but a homeowner is concerned about the amount of soliciting in the neighborhood and wants to know what, if anything, the board can do. Again, this has come up before. Ernie said there used to be a sign in the front of the community. I don't know what happened to it, why it was removed, if we can get another one. But does anybody have any information on what recourses we may have other than putting the sign back up? Or we should send this to safety and security?
I think what we need to do is I think we need to lean on Barkin and have a conversation around this particular signage. They're going to be able to kind of guide us, in the best direction. I do remember a sign years ago in the front of the community about no solicitation. Not really sure what happened to it. There are some communities that have a similar sign within the Charles County area. I don't know if it, I have no idea.
Okay. All right, so that's something we can bring up Monday when we meet with them and just kind of find out what our options are and what they suggest.
And then, Sean, I think what we need to do around the collection items, if we can, and we can schedule both attorneys at one time. I think going in at, we've got a significant number of accounts in collections. If we can schedule time with both attorneys, maybe just do it as a collections exec session, and just get the attorney's advice on path forward on these accounts. Just kind of get a verbal update. I can read the reports, but that way the three of us can ask questions, particularly around cows. It's got, and then MSN. So I would try to get them all at on one day.
Okay, so yeah, I don't have a problem with that. If you guys can send me availability, your availability for the meetings with the attorneys and then the meetings with Outdoor Creations for February, then we can get those scheduled. Just send me your availability for those two meetings.
You want them in the next availability for the next 2 weeks, or just what do you want? First 3 weeks of Feb? How do you want?
Well, Brian was saying Outdoor Creations would be in February. So whatever time frame he was looking at for that. So Brian, if you can just send us an email saying this is the time frame I would like to have the meeting with Outdoor Creations. We can do it via email. Come up with some dates that we're all available, and I'll email them. Thomas, what time frame were you hoping to have the meetings with the attorneys?
Next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
In the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what the numbers are. I'm not even gonna go with the number. We all know what the numbers are, so we need to get our arms around it.
That next 3 weeks might be tough, but go ahead and send me, both of you send me your availability for the next 3 weeks, and then I'll reach out and get those scheduled so we can talk about that.
Okay.
That is all the agenda items I have. Anything else before we move on?
I have nothing.
Okay. All right, homeowners. Now we have reached the community engagement portion. It is now 8:05 p.m. We are going to end promptly at 8:30 p.m. If you have a question for the board, I ask that you would raise your electronic hand now. Please leave your line muted if you are not speaking so that we can hear question that is being asked and the response that is given. So please raise your electronic hand. I did see somebody send me a message directly. I'm gonna go to Kanisha first. I don't see you on the board, but I saw a message from you.
I'm fine. Craig had his hand up first, so I'm fine with waiting with Shauna, but thank you.
Okay, if I don't see your hand, I might forget you. So that's why I came to you first.
No, you're fine. I think, there you go. I couldn't
Okay.
find it first. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, so if you have a question, please raise your electronic hand. Craig?
So I'm trying to understand you guys. You guys been talking for an hour here, and I still haven't got the point of it was just informative. And most of the things y'all was talking about could have been done internally and get these members more time to talk. So I have several questions. First one, are they going to change this wording from condo to homeowner to home housing people? Because right now they're sending letters saying we're condos. We're not condos.
That is something that is pre-baked into their system. We can address that when we meet with them on Monday.
So why would you go that away when we're misnaming who we are as a community? I'm totally against it. I'll be honest with you right now. I'm totally against it. And you mentioned the bylaws. So is the bylaw going to incorporate the core that we don't have tonight?
I do not understand your question.
In your current, what bylaws or what articles are we working with now? Are we using the old one or the one that's going to be implemented?
There have been no bylaw changes. So the bylaws and the governing documents that you received when you purchased your house are the same governing documents. There have been no edits, no changes, no updates to the governing documents.
So if that's the case, it's a couple of things that y'all haven't done tonight. First, you didn't institute a quorum like you're supposed to if you're using that old articles and bylaws. That if that's the case, I'm sitting here and watch this and listen to this, and it's a I, me, and three of us.
So, Mr. Craig, if I can,
sir, please don't interrupt me. Can I please finish?
Sure,
finish? Okay. I'm addressing this from an article and the bylaws for what I signed when I got here. And I see a lot of violations that not being adhered to. You mentioned earlier that you're doing updates. If you're doing updates, that's why I'm asking, if you're bringing updates in, are the homeowners going to see this? And then the second thing too is you're saying you got this agreement and all this other stuff coming in. When do owners get a preview for, before all these stuff is implemented to give you, feedback on it?
So I'm not sure what you're referring to with the bylaws. We did not mention the bylaws at all this evening. So
Mention the
again,
articles.
there have been no updates to the bylaws. There have been no changes to the bylaws. If there were going to be changes to the bylaws, we would have a public meeting, and those changes would be communicated. Brian, go ahead.
So, Mr. Craig,
Yes, sir.
if you look at your bylaws for Brentwood Homeowners Association, Article 5, this meeting is a meeting of directors. It is not a meeting of homeowners. This is a meeting of directors that is open to the homeowners. If you look at Article 5 under meeting of directors, Section 3 says quorum. A majority of the number of directors shall constitute a quorum for the transaction of business. That is what we're doing here tonight. The board of directors are doing business. And there's 3 board of directors. So therefore, if one is missing, we still have a quorum. But all 3 of us are present. So we do have a quorum tonight, sir.
Okay, so this wasn't a meeting for the homeowners at all.
Well,
That's what you just said.
It's a meeting of the board of directors that is open to the homeowners because we have transparency.
Okay, so when is the meeting for the homeowners?
There's an annual meeting. There is an annual, according to the bylaws, there is an annual meeting every year.
Okay.
Have you read your?
I'm specifically, okay, you mentioned Article 5. Let me go to Article 7 on you. C2 says you did a fee increase that the homeowner is supposed to get a notification in 30 days, a written notification, not no email, go to the website and find it. Go to Article 7, C2.
Yes,
C2
sir, you are
Yeah.
correct. And the budget was mailed out to your residents, all homeowners in this community in October with 30 days notice prior to passing the budget. Century Management mailed the proposed budget to your residents.
I didn't get
So
it, ma'am. I didn't get it, ma'am.
So the budget,
Well-
sir, so let me deal with the budget. So sir, so here's what happened with the budget. If the budget is the issue, we had a very open and transparent budget process. We started in May, we released 3 drafts. And we at the end of September, we mailed and submitted electronically the budget document. Further, we had a budget briefing in the finance committee, did a budget briefing in October on what was contained, September 24th, 22nd, somewhere in there, on what was in the proposed budget documents. And so the fee increase was there. And then when we met on November 30th, we passed the exact same budget, no changes whatsoever, that we posted and disseminated in the homeowners. So there was the process was very transparent.
How did you send it, sir?
Sir, the budget was posted online. It was mailed to homeowners. We've had budget meetings. We had a couple of budget meetings in the summer.
I got you.
It was
I got-
also posted
about-
on
it was
the
on- and-
portal.
And it was on
It was
and
on
it
the
was on
portal.
Yeah, it was on.
Right, I understand that.
Yes, sir.
And respectfully, again, that budget, your final numbers, that the increase, was that contained in the email or whatever, however much you
Yes,
sent
sir.
out?
Yes, sir.
And what-
Yes, sir. It was contained in the emails, contained in the budget document that we posted online, and we constantly communicated what the increase was going to be.
Okay, I didn't get it, sir. I didn't get it.
Well,
I didn't get it, sir.
I apologize for that.
So,
So,
Mr.
I
Craig,
mean,
Mr. Craig, Mr. Craig, maybe what we need to do is make sure that we have your correct address on file or within this new system that the newer management company we're going to go with.
Yes, sir. I understand, but it's several other on here say they didn't get anything either. So I'm not the only one. So I mean, I understand you have your meeting, you send all this stuff up, but no homeowner should ever have to go in to search for anything if you're making changes or doing an update. They
No,
should.
I agree. I agree with you around the budget, and I also agree with you around the bylaws. But there haven't been any bylaw changes. But around the budget, we constantly talked about what the numbers were going to be. We released 3 different drafts of the budget, and we constantly every matter of fact, all throughout the summer at every community meeting that we had, I talked about the budget.
You did.
I talked about the budget. I explained the state of affairs of the association, and I told you, I advised what the condition was, what accounts were in collections, and why we had to make some of the choices that we had to make. And to be honest with you, sir, we were very conservative in making some of the choices that we made. And the reality of it is, we probably should have been a bit more aggressive in some of the areas, but the 3 of us aligned around what we thought the tolerance of homeowners would be for FY 2020, 2023. And we also advised that that if we didn't see improvement, particularly in our delinquency rate, that we were going to have to make some of the harder choices that we did not want to make in 2023 and 2024. Specifically, we had to back out $17,000 out of the budget to account for allowance for doubtful accounts, when we probably should have been about $29,000. So we said that at the budget meeting, that if we don't see improvement, we can't get this delinquency number down, then that is a choice that we're going to have to consider for 2024. So we've been honest around this.
Right.
We've been
I think-
transparent around it. And I apologize that you did not receive it, but you were
I think,
yes.
yeah,
sir.
thank you, sir. I
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate that, and I understand. However, I thought when you had those budget meeting before,
Mhm.
that this additional burden wouldn't be on the homeowners because others wasn't paying.
Sir, the reality of it is, there were a number of factors. There was the delinquency rate. There's the requirement for what we require to do to
Yes, sir.
meet the reserve analysis requirements. So it was a number of factors, but we had to do a fee increase regardless, because the developer, as you know, who acted as the board of directors for a considerable amount of time, did not increase fees. And the fee, when we took it over, the fees weren't increased for 2 years, and the cost of doing business has increased. So we've got a balance. We have a budget to balance, and we have to provide high quality services to the homeowners, and that's what we did in this year's budget.
Okay, so I'd
Yeah.
like to make a suggestion, so we can get to the other
Yeah.
people who have their hands raised.
Yeah, understood.
For those that
Well,
did
I'm gonna
not,
interrupt you, ma'am.
for-
I'm gonna interrupt you right
excuse me,
here.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm gonna
Let me
interrupt you
finish.
because you done
Excuse
had a
me.
whole hour to talk.
Let me
and this is the
finish.
problem that we have, is
Sir.
you took a whole
Come on, LaShawn,
hour.
let them talk. Let
and
them
you-
talk, LaShawn. Let them talk.
You took a whole hour for the homeowners. Now you limit the homeowners to 30 minutes, and we're trying to address concerns. If
And
this
I
is
was
what-
about to respond to you before you interrupted me.
ma'am,
I was
okay,
going to
this-
provide a
this-
response.
Okay, this is
Are
all
you
I'm
going to
saying.
let me respond?
I want to finish, Mr. Thomas, and then I'll be through talking. Mr. Thomas, thank you, sir. I appreciate you explaining all this, but my final 2 questions on this, and you can go ahead with whatever you got to do.
Yes, sir.
So how long is this budget stabilized before another increase comes?
So to be honest with you, sir, we will have to increase the fees for the next 3 years. Oh, excuse me, next 2 years, to accommodate what we're required to do for the repair and replacement reserve. So to be honest, every homeowner is looking at about a $45. If nothing else changes, everything kind of stays where it is. There's no cost of goods and services increased, but you're looking at about a $45 to $50 increase next year. Okay, And I've said this, since August. So there will be increases next year to keep the budget in balance and so we can meet our obligations. So please, I want everybody to understand that we have to contribute another $18,000 or $37,000 rather next year in our repair and replacement reserve. And then the following year, we have to allocate $55,000 to get us to the reserve requirement that the reserve study requires, that that the reserve study says we have to have. So we have to have $55,600 contributed annually in our repair and replacement reserves to meet the requirements. Okay, so there will be increases. The only way that there won't be, well, there will be increases. I'll leave it that way.
Well, thank you, sir, and I appreciate you allowing me time to speak. I'll just leave this with you, and because I do have concern. We're doing an increase, but we're not doing anything for the community as far as schools, community centers, and we're just pouring money in and seeing nothing.
Well, the reality of it is, sir,
Yes, sir.
and everybody on here that wants to talk about amenities, the reality of it is that those sorts of amenities cost, right? And the developer did not, as a part of the plan, those
Yes,
sorts
sir.
of amenities were not included in the plan. So if
Yes,
we
sir.
want to make those type of investments in our community, that's fine. But what you have to understand is, to do that, it's going to cost. Not only is it going to cost to construct, but it's also going to cost to maintain. So we have to pull ourselves out of this precarious financial situation before we can even think about doing amenities. To be totally honest with you, sir, we had to abolish last year, 2022, we had to abolish 2 reserves that the board established for additional facilities and capital improvements to pay December's bills because we ran out of cash. That's what happened.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. So
You're quite welcome.
thank you
My
for
pleasure.
explaining it.
My
I'm sorry.
pleasure. My
Yeah,
pleasure.
thank you. Yeah, I don't mind paying the additional costs. I really don't. If that's gonna improve the community relations from here, I don't care. But when we start doing this $50 here every year and all this other stuff, and just cause we playing catch up, that's where I got the problem here.
And that's why we're trying. And that's why we're
even if
trying
it
to
go-
fix it.
Yeah, even if it goes up to $1,000 a year, I don't care about that. But I wanted something to show that we're our community, because we'll get return on investment if a community center is built. I know we would get it because people always look for that. But anything besides that, I appreciate the time, but I'm gonna yield the floor now.
Thank you, Mr. Craig. Thank you for your comments. I appreciate it.
So for my recommendation, for people who said that they did not receive the budget that was mailed to your home by Century Management, if you can send a request to the communications email, we will make sure that you receive that budget hard copy. I'm also pasting a link in the chat. Can't type and talk at the same time. I'm posting a link in the chat to the YouTube channel that has the recording of the Finance Committee meeting, which explains the budget and goes line by line. So you can watch via the YouTube channel and watch the Finance Committee meeting. They went through the budget line by line, explained each line item, answered questions about the budget. So that link is now in the chat. And then if you did not receive the hard copy of the budget that was mailed to your residents, please reach out to communications and we will make sure that we get that to you. The next hand, I think they're out of order. It says iPhone. doesn't have a name, it just says iPhone.
Yeah, that's me, Camilla. So I have a few things. I didn't want to talk about the amenities. I just want to talk about or ask a couple of questions in regards to the cleanliness of the development. I think I've talked about this before. Um, in the top lot off of Bancroft and over there, the hill, people are throwing mattresses. There's a sink over there. I've been here over 3 years now. The fences still aren't fixed. I just want to know what takes it so long to get things done. Because I've been here 3 years, and it's like at every meeting, it's just the same thing. I mean, we pour money into the community, into our HOA fees, but it's just, I have a pet peeve with cleanliness in the development and trash thrown in areas that shouldn't be. My other thing is that I received a bill that said common area from Barkin. It was for $197 that I paid, but I'm not sure why I paid for a common area fee. Haven't received my HOA bill.
So that is
For
your
the-
that is your HOA bill, ma'am. So here,
Oh,
so and I'll so
okay.
and then Brian can take the part about the cleanliness piece. The when we approved last year's budget, um, when we approved last year's budget, we also approved the quarterly, um, the quarterly apportionment of the fee. So
Mhm.
the annual assessment fee is $788. And if you disaggregate that over 4 quarters, it equates to $197 a quarter. So that's the bill that you receive. And so homeowners can choose to
Oh, I
pay.
thought it was gonna be a lump sum. Okay,
You
so
can
that's
you can
just,
you can choose.
okay.
1 second, ma'am. You can choose to pay your annual assessment fee, all at one time, and
Okay,
$788 if that's what you
right,
choose. But then,
okay.
but the way it's going to be billed to you is it's going to be due on January 1st, April
Mhm.
1st, July 1st, and October 1st.
Okay,
And anything past the 15th of the month, you will receive a late fee of $15
gotcha.
at each entry. But we kept the assessment payment frequency consistent with 2022.
Okay, that's
Yep.
fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank Thank you.
Brian.
Yes, yes. Good afternoon, ma'am. And you were mentioning that there's sinks, mattress, in a common
This
area.
trash, yeah, this in the top lot behind. If you go over the hill, I don't know if that's a part of
Go
I'm
over
pretty
the
sure it's a
hill.
part of us. Yes, by the pond behind that whole area is just
So is this the
full of trash.
pavilion tot lot area?
Yes, the one that we were talking about before, that still the lights are sketchy over there.
Okay. Thank you for letting us know. I'll get a team to look into that.
All right, and then the fences, I don't know, we said that it was gonna be fixed last quarter, but
Right. So what's taking the fence so long to get repaired is Century Management was facilitating procuring, actually sending out to bid the scope of work, and also returning those bids in and awarding the bids to a contractor. For whatever reason, Century didn't get back to us. They took their time, and as we said in the meeting earlier, what we're going to do is we're going to work with Barkin. We're going to give them 45 days to send the scope of work out to bid, and we're going to award a contractor, hopefully within the end of the first quarter, early of the second quarter, the contract, so we can get these fences repaired.
so when is the ETA? I mean, when is the,
Well,
So go ahead, Brian.
go ahead, Thomas. Go ahead.
So you're looking at mid-April, May. Okay, and we're looking at, I mean, we had one bid and let's kind of talk about the cost. I want everybody to understand what these things are gonna cost. To repair, the bid that we got to repair and replace the fences in the entire community was $26,000. That's how much it's gonna cost, but somewhere between 26 and 35 and $30,000. And that money is going to come out of the repair and replacement reserve. So when you hear us talk about a repair and replacement reserve, that is where those funds are going to come from. They're not going to come from the operating side of the budget. So maintenance items, so you talk about trash at the top lot. From a financial perspective, the cleaning up of the top lot is a ground maintenance issue. And so operating funds will be used for that purpose. So I want everybody to understand how this kind of works.
Yeah, I
Repairs,
understand.
yep.
I understand.
repair-
I've been
yep.
to the meetings.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're very meticulous in breaking it down, so I appreciate that. It's just, it's just that we're talking and nothing is being done, so,
I totally understand. I totally understand.
yeah.
But we're gonna get it done.
Yep. All right, thank you. And the last thing is the porch piracy. My neighbors got their packages stolen. Do we still have security coming around, or what's going on with that?
No. Well, we never really had we never had security.
Not security, I mean the Charles County police folks.
So Charles County does come through the area. What I will tell you is if there is any type of theft, please go ahead and call the Charles County Sheriff's Office. Call the 911 number or call the non-emergency number. You have every right as a homeowner to feel safe in the community.
I think if they visited, if they came around the community more frequently, if they were more visible per se, it will minimize it, but I understand that you can only call if you see something. So I just thought they were coming around more frequently. Or supposed to.
I'll check with the safety and security committee to see if they're still on a regular schedule, and if they're not, I'll ask them to see if they can be brought back on a regular schedule to come around more often.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate you guys. Have a good one.
Thank you. Next we have Kanisha.
Thank you. Yes.
Oh,
Can
there
you
you are.
Thank you and good evening. I just had two things. One, to clarify, since several of us put in the chat that we had not received any correspondence. I had not received correspondence in months. So I had to reach out to Barkin, and that's when I was informed that because of the handoff from Century to Barkin, a lot of us homeowners did not receive any correspondence. So I was told that we have until the 31st of January to make the lump sum payment. So I hope that was accurate information.
So you can pay your assessment fee in January. You can pay the Q1 requirement, or you can pay the lump sum.
Yes.
By board policy, it's considered late on the 15th of the month. That's after any quarter, your payment is considered late. So unless you hear from this board, your payment, if it's not received by the 15th of the month in a quarter that it's due, it's considered late.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that's why I shared
Yep.
with the group, because that's what I was told. So I don't know if there was misinformation. So I just wanted to bring that to you all's attention.
No, the letter did advise that they would cash checks on the 31st, of the month. But we have a policy. The board has a policy of how the payments need to be remitted, and until you hear from this board, that policy hasn't changed.
Okay. And then I just wanted to clarify, Nicole, thank you for submitting the question on my behalf. The concern that I had regarding the soliciting throughout the neighborhood is that I had a landscaping card in my mailbox. And I don't know if people are aware that legally, the only people who are supposed to open the mailbox are the homeowner and the USPS. So, if they put a card behind the flag on my mailbox or in the area underneath, that was fine with me, but I crossed crossing the line is opening my mailbox. So that's why I asked the question, you know, to me, it either needs to be all or none. So are we as homeowners okay with the soliciting in the neighborhood? And if we're not, then yes, I would greatly appreciate the sign. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, we will, no, you're right. They're not supposed to put it inside of the mailbox. And I guess there may be a way, Brian, maybe where we could actually report that company. But we will definitely look into getting signage in the front of the community to try to curtail some of that.
So LaShawna, I will say this, that any homeowner that feels like that they have been violated, they can call the Postmaster General of the local of the local post office and file a formal complaint. Please do so.
Thank you. For homeowners, again, who did not receive the mail budget to your home, if you can do, I think Brian or Thomas suggested, please contact, although that was Century when we were under Century Management, and they should have had your correct address. Just to make sure that that doesn't happen again, please contact the contact people in the email that was sent out from Barkin or the letter that was sent out to Barkin, and make sure that your address is correct on file. So we want to make sure that that does not happen again. Next, Michael.
Hello, my name is Michael Spencer. I am the chair of the Finance Committee. I just wanted to let everybody know that the Finance Committee holds meetings every month, the fourth Thursday of the month. And I realize that a forum like this is not nearly enough time to get into some of the finance issues and questions that homeowners may have. And the finance meeting that's conducted monthly could possibly be an excellent opportunity to get your questions answered. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. It was an advertisement to attend the Finance Committee meeting. Next, we have Monica.
I'm sorry there. Good evening, all. My name is Monica. I just had a quick question in regards to Barkin. I noticed that I was creating a profile, a homeowner profile, and wasn't able to. Has that been reserved? I reached out to Barkin and they said that they were still updating the information in the system.
We are going to follow up with them on Monday. I know they're working on setting up our homeowner portal. So that is one of the things we're going to follow up with them on Monday, and hopefully we will have some communication out to all of the homeowners by mid to the end of the week next week. So this is a plug for comms. Sign up for, Nicole, if you hear me, if you could put it in the chat, sign up for all of our social media. Not all of them, but whichever one you prefer, social media sites. When our portal is set up, make sure you opt in for emails from Barkin Management. And also, again, contact Barkin and make sure your home address is listed correctly in their system. These are all the ways that we send out communications to the homeowners. So we do it via social media, we do it through the homeowner portal, through the management company via email, and we also send when required, and only when required because there's a giant price tag attached to it. We mail items like the budget, etc., directly to your residence. So things that are not legally required to be mailed, we try not to mail those because that adds a price tag to the homeowners. So please make sure you opt in for emails when we notify you the homeowner portal is set up. And also follow us on our social media sites so you can be alerted when something is sent out. Treva, sorry if I mispronounced your name.
That's okay. It's Treva. Thank you.
Okay.
I just had a quick question because I did not receive the letter about my new account number. So thank you all for sending the information saying like email. I think her name is Naomi. Because the letter I got was dated January 3rd from Barkin with my account number on it. But I just was wondering if you guys could bring up to Barkin when you have your meeting, because I had an overpayment to Century.
Mm.
And so I'm just trying to figure out when will that translate to Barkin.
So, yeah, so
Yes, sir.
we're still in the middle of reconciliation.
Yes, sir.
What we did do, just so everybody's aware, I pulled everybody's account. Since I have responsibility for account ledgers and as a treasurer, I pulled all the financials on December 31st. All right. So, and Barkin should have gotten this information. So they will reconcile, and then I will go back in and reconcile, everybody's account, what it should be in concert with the Barkin team.
Okay.
What I will say to you, and what I'll say to all of you, we had $25,000 of prepays. And so all of you who had prepaid last year or had, credit balances, all that's going forward, and that's going to help us in the January timeframe to deal with our expenses. So I will make sure that is taken care of.
Okay. So I mean, because I went ahead and paid the 197.
Right. So if you paid the
Yeah.
197 and you had a credit balance, then whatever your credit balance was will be applied to your account, and then when your Q2 bill comes out,
Okay. We should be good by then.
It
Yes.
should be good by then. Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, everybody, please just give us about a month. Give me about 45 days to get all these accounts straight, because
Gotcha.
I want to make sure that everybody's accounts is accurate. I know that this is a pain point, and there was a number of you who prepaid, and there's a number of you who did not pay, and those of you who did not pay, let's just have an honest conversation. There were a number of you who did not pay, who had balances coming into 2023. And I would encourage you to, if you did not satisfy your account in 2022, I encourage you to settle it, because once your balance hits, delinquent $500, you are going to the attorney. And so please settle it, or get on the payment plan with the team. Okay. We do not enjoy referring accounts to the attorney. That's not my happy path. Okay.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. And one more thing, and I want everybody to know, we did improve in collection. So last year, when we took over in January 2021, our delinquency rate for current homeowners was $56,000. When we ended 2022, our delinquency rate for current homeowners was $52,000. So thank you for helping us improve. I think that's important to highlight here.
Yep. Thank you. Next we have Craig.
So I won't be as hostile this time, but I'll just say this. I'm going to ask the board and the director to consider this, since you are in transition, just like you guys are having the meetings with these guys trying to figure everything out. I think to be fair to the homeowners, to relax that 15-day delinquent period and extend it to the 31st. That way it give everybody else a chance to adjust as well.
We will take that under advisement. Let us meet with the Century. Let us meet with Barkin on Monday, and whatever we decide, we will put a communication together around that topic. Okay.
Yeah, because that's what they're telling the homeowners. Because when I called them, they said since they was in transition, everybody had to the 31st. So
I
it's
saw
a
the
little
letter.
bit of I'm sorry.
I saw the letter.
Yeah, so
I
it's
saw
a
the
little bit of conflict there. So I think just to bring everybody into focus, just consider that moving it to the 31st.
Yep, we will meet with them, and then the three of us will craft a communication. We'll craft a communication and kind of tell everybody where we are and what the path forward is going to be.
Okay, thank you.
You're quite welcome, Craig.
Next we have Monica.
Hello again. To piggyback off of what Craig said, I think that would be a great idea to waive $15 fee, maybe instead of waiving the fee for, or just pushing it out to the 31st, maybe waiving the first payment fee for the first quarter, because again, with this transition, when I spoke with Mark, they told me that they were, they had went live on, with the site, and clearly we're not up and running, we're not in their system. So maybe we can just consider for the first quarter to waive that $15 fee. I'm not sure, is that an assessment fee for Barkin or for the HOA? Either way, it would give the community, you guys, and the homeowners as well time to adjust to the new management company.
No,
I
yeah,
think
yep,
this
thank
is
you. Yep, so so everybody's aware, the Barkin gets a management fee, even Century got a management fee every month. The late fees, when we did the budget for 2023, keep saying 2022, 2023, the budget was not balanced on late fees. So if there are late fees that come in, that will be additional revenue for the association. But again, we'll meet with Barkin on Monday, and then Brian, LaShawn, and I will figure out what the path forward is going to be for Q1 around late fees and assessments. But we do, the three of us do understand we're in transition. But unfortunately, we have some homeowners who have delinquencies, so we've got to take that into account as well. But we'll get a communication out. Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you. I do not see any more hands. So at this time, we are going to adjourn this meeting. Thank you all for attending. Time is 8:46 p.m. Have a good evening.